All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Amanda McKeen. You're listening to North of Normal. We're on every Tuesday from 10 to noon. And North of Normal is a special program where we feature local guests who have stories to tell. And this week, our local guest is Randall. And Randall, I've actually never heard you pronounce your last name, so I'm going to butcher it for everybody just to find out if it's correct. Is it Saulnier?
Well, that's not too bad.
No?
First of all, thank you for having me here today.
Yeah.
It has a couple of versions. Saulnier actually works pretty well, even though I think the real version is Saulnier, kind of like a French dialect on that.
Saulnier?
Yep.
Okay. Randall Saulnier.
Okay,
Saulnier.
We're in business.
I'm getting there. Randall, thanks so much for being with us today. You and I have been just kind of getting familiar with the studio here and kind of figuring out what we're going to talk about today. One of the things I love about my show and that I always want to preserve is the unscripted nature of our conversations. So while we have certain points that we want to cover, certain stories that we want to tell, none of it's written out for us. This is all organic conversation, and you have a very special role here in the community and actually in the same building. And I think that we're in for a treat today, so I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I never knew this place was down here in this building and these catacombs. It's really neat.
What was the other way that you described this place?
I think it's kind of like the bowels of the basement.
The bowels. Yeah, I love that. So here we are in the bowels of the old hospital where you have some history as well.
Only born here, that's it.
Yeah, you were born here. Were you born on this floor?
Hopefully I wasn't born in this basement.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I was up a couple stories in the maternity ward.
Well, welcome back as an adult with lots of years of experience that we're going to dive into. One of the first things I like to start out with for listeners is understanding how my guests and I know each other. Sometimes those stories are pretty cool. So I would love if you would share with our listeners how you and I met.
That is a good idea. So essentially, I saw Amanda's post on Franconia Porch, and
that's a Facebook group.
That is a Facebook group. And I got the idea that Amanda was somebody who could bring some marketing to life for different companies, and I was reading some of her stories in the Littleton Courier, which are very well scripted, and that impressed me. Her writing skills are amazing.
Thank you.
There was a point that the bank that partly owned my trusted investment company was being merged with another bank, and I had to leave my office in Franconia and find this new location, which I'm happy to say is the Littleton Hospital. But now that was a referral source for my New Hampshire office, and what do I do now? Oh, brainstorm. Amanda, let's reach out to her and see if she can offer anything. So that's our story begins.
Yes.
And we've done Amanda's done a fantastic job helping us, on social media, getting our name out there. I mean, we were well aligned with the bank, of course, but now we are seeing some great traffic. We're getting some phone calls, inquiries. The direction to the website that Amanda did has been amazing. So, we have formed a great relationship now.
Awesome. And you had a ribbon cutting ceremony last month, which was really special. Honestly, I think it was the first ribbon cutting ceremony I'd attended here in Littleton. And you had a really great turnout. You clearly have a lot of supporters. And just to make sure everybody listening knows, what's your role and what is the name of the company?
My role is Senior Vice President, Regional Manager of Community Financial Services Group. We are a trust and investment company that have roots that go back 99 years.
A long time.
We are currently owned by two banks, Community National Bank of the Northeast Kingdom and the National Bank of Middlebury. the third bank was Woodsville Guarantee Savings Bank, which is no longer in existence.
Yeah. So it's been a big shift this summer, for sure.
I had to learn some new skills, like trying to find some corporate office space, not my forte.
I know. And when we met each other, I came into your office, and there was no furniture yet.
Oh, come on, Amanda. I had an ironing board and a chair I brought from home. We're set up business. We're good to go. And my colleague, Kristen, she brought in a table that you would use for like a family banquet for Thanksgiving and a chair. And we did well.
You did. Honestly, it was a great testament to your resiliency. And I remember seeing your phone, the desk phone, was on a trash bucket turned upside down.
Yeah, so we did order office furniture.
Yeah, you now have full furniture.
We do. It was that 6-week delay that kind of threw us off.
Yeah.
But, we made it work. Oh, and Kristen brought in a big wood table that we put into the conference room. And the makeshift chairs, and people thoroughly understood. And, it worked out well.
Oh, that's good. I think it's great to show, not everything's perfect all the time, and we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, more importantly, the show must go on.
It must go on. So thank you for sharing that perspective of how we met, and thank you for trusting me with helping you guys. It has been wonderful.
It has been great for us, and again, thank you from all of us.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you, Randall. I want to understand, and I'm sure our readers do, what are your connections here to the North Country? We know you're born here, but what happened after that?
Yeah, I'm actually from the Lincoln, North Woodstock area.
Okay.
And my family owned a campground there called Camper's World. It was about a mile south of Indian Head.
Nice.
And that was a great place to grow up as a kid.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of fishing?
I did.
That's awesome.
And it was great. My parents sold in '85, and that was the year I graduated college. And they asked me if I wanted to run the campground or what I wanted to do. I said, Dad, that's a great offer. Why don't you do that? I'm getting out of this one-horse town.
Yeah.
And worked my way down to Massachusetts.
Okay. So you were never really interested in taking over that family business?
Regrettably, no.
Did you have siblings?
I did. I had 2 sisters.
And were they interested in taking that?
I think my older sister was, but my parents, they had worked hard their whole lives, and I think it was time for them to step back and enjoy life.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So you grew up kind of in nature. You spent a lot of time in nature.
Absolutely.
Is that right? That's cool.
The best part of my life, I think, growing up was, going out in the woods. We had a large tract of land, like 300 acres, and could just go out there and just play, do some motorcycling, snowmobiling.
You had your own snowmobile as a kid?
Oh, yeah, you got to.
Sweet.
Got to keep busy.
So were you often out there by yourself? Because I know things have changed in that way for kids.
Yeah, I had no problem. If I couldn't find any, buddies to go hiking, I'd go by myself for a week or so and just head out to the Whites and go.
As a kid?
Well, I was probably like 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there specifically.
Did you ever have anything dicey happen while you were out there? I know there's a lot of stuff that happens these days with hikers.
No, everything was so innocent back then, right? You didn't have to track your kids. You didn't have to lock your doors. So, it was pretty free-spirited back then.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you got to enjoy that.
Yeah, me too. I missed it when I moved to Massachusetts because, that was a shock.
Yeah. So what drew you to Massachusetts?
I think my current wife now.
And what's her name?
That's Deidre. We call her Dee Dee.
Dee Dee? Okay. So you met Dee Dee and you followed her down to Massachusetts?
Right, thanks to my sister Jody.
Yeah.
She introduced us.
Okay.
And I went down to run this race. It's a premier race before the Boston Marathon called the Milk Run. And she volunteered to do our carbo load dinner for us the night before.
Nice.
And didn't realize Jody's friend was so cute. And she could cook really well because I was a bachelor at that time. And when Dee Dee came up, all she saw in my refrigerator was like a canned ham. It was probably outdated. And maybe some Coors Light.
So do you remember what you had that night for carbs?
Oh, absolutely. It was an awesome spaghetti dinner with meatballs, with some garlic bread, and maybe a glass of red wine.
Sounds awesome. How'd you do in the race the next day?
I finished. I wasn't really back into running then. I mean, I was in high school as a cross-country track, but I hadn't run for a while. I've done some jogging, so I just had basketball sneakers, and it was a cold, rainy day, and I actually wore my sister's probably Lycra pants.
You wore your sister's Lycra pants?
Yeah, because it was cold out and my shorts weren't going to cut it. Well, that was 40 pounds ago, okay?
Okay.
I finished the race. I'll just put it that way.
Well, good job on finishing
But I got
race.
some whistles probably from the wrong type of folks. And I didn't understand it until the end, like, oh, okay. Not doing that again.
Yeah. So you ran a race. What else did you do in Massachusetts?
Oh, finally moved down there.
You did?
Yeah.
Is that where Dee Dee was from?
She's originally from Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay.
She went to school at Northeastern in Boston, and she stayed there. And she had a nice rent-controlled apartment, which was very attractive as well.
Okay.
So I went down and found myself a job at State Street Bank, where I worked for 22 years.
What education did you have at that point to get that job?
I had a bachelor's degree, really in business administration.
Okay.
A minor in psychology.
Really?
Well, I want to know how girls work. Figured that would help me out. It did not.
Did it help you understand yourself at least?
No, kind of scared me.
Yeah. Maybe it did a
Too
little.
much introspection.
Right?
No, it was all good.
Yeah, I'm curious what motivated you to pick that major.
You know, ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a banker.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember. So that drew me to going into banking at State Street. Ended up being a fixed income trader in the Treasury Group and managed the bank's cash as well.
And this whole time, you continually felt like it was the right calling?
I do.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be successful and then move back to the North Country.
So you always had in mind that you wanted to return to the Lincoln area?
I did at some point, but really Franconia, though I look back at it now, like I spent 25 years trying to get out, and then another 25 years trying to get back in.
It's funny how that happens. I've had other guests come on that talk about having that moment where they exit and then having the calling to come back.
Right. So we got married in Sugar Hill in 1990.
Nice.
And we had our reception at the Franconia Inn.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I made a promise that day that we would retire in Franconia because this is the side of the notch that we wanted to live on. So, yeah, I got that right.
You did get it right. So, what was your connection with Franconia early on?
I just liked the small town. Lincoln was turning into just a big tourist town. It was just growing ever since, the mid-'80s. And just growing faster and faster. And it just saddens me when I go through Lincoln now. It's not the town that I grew up in or went to school in.
Yeah. I don't know it any other way, and when I go there, I don't even see normal residential areas. I just see the businesses and then the high-end homes that get built.
Right. The locals are getting pushed out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sad.
Yeah, so what was it like when you grew up there? Before all of that came?
Well, how far back do you want to go?
What do you remember?
I remember going to high school in the 70s and still smelling the mill across the street that was still operating.
There was a mill?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Franconia Paper Mill, I think it was called.
Okay. That must have been a big driver of the population at that point.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. And kind of had a little taint of a smell that you didn't really like.
Uh-huh. I know that smell.
Yes, you would from Maine, right?
Yes, I've been by paper mills. They're gross.
But then, Loon was really starting to take off then, and a lot of folks, went to work there, but I don't think the jobs were as good as they were at the mill.
Yeah.
But it did help folks, get by.
So what year did the mill shut down?
I know it closed down several times.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure when the final time was. I'd have to go look on my timeline.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's when things started shifting pretty majorly for the town when that finally closed.
Yeah, I think that was the big shift.
Yeah. So you had this connection with Franconia. You had seen it, driven through it when you came up to hike. Is that how it happened?
Well, I always knew about Franconia. I just thought it was just a cute little town that I'd like to be in someday.
How has Franconia changed since those early days?
There's a lot more, let's say, second homes.
Yes.
I think there's a high percentage. I don't know the numbers exactly, but it's probably maybe half of the houses.
Yeah.
And again, housing there is becoming very unaffordable for the locals.
Yeah. So when you think about the future of Franconia and knowing what had happened to Lincoln, what do you foresee?
I don't see the devastation coming that Lincoln had. I mean, I know that's kind of a rough way of putting it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to take an economic cycle for some of these houses to come down in value and people to sell homes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything is cyclical, right? No matter what. So I think it's going to take some time. But I don't think we're going to see the development. You'll see more development here in Littleton than Franconia.
Yeah.
I think it always will be a residential area.
Yeah. So you live in Franconia now.
Yes.
I know you do some hiking.
Yes. Yes.
Do you what kind of hiking are we talking?
Well, certainly love hiking the Whites. My first hike was with my aunt. It was probably 1970.
Okay.
And we hiked up Mount Liberty. That was my first mountain.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one to start with.
And we did a lot of hikes after that. I don't recall where we went, but she was very active back then. She was an instructor at Loon. And that was fun times growing up, and occasionally would hike. As I got older, when I graduated high school, I went with my buddy. We went the day after graduation, which was probably a bad idea. We might have had a couple too many beers. So it was a rough start.
Yeah. But
we went out for about 12 days, and we did through Franconia all the way through the other side of Madison.
Wow. You were out there for 12 days straight?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that? That's a big experience.
Well, I was young and in shape, so that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I realized that I didn't like dry food, but you had to, carry it because it was lightweight, right?
Yeah. Was there any big mistakes you made during that time that you were like, oh, I'm never doing that again?
Probably should have kept better track of the weather.
Yeah, was it rough?
Yeah, we had a rough time in the Great Gulf. It got rain for 3 days straight. So we weren't packing up in the rain or didn't want to hike in the rain. And we actually ate all our food.
And then you were out of food in the Great Gulf?
Right, so we hiked out, got a phone, called my dad. He picked us up at Dolly Cop Campground.
Yes.
And then we promptly went to McDonald's and gorged ourselves on Big Macs and fries.
Oh my goodness. What was the original plan?
I think we wanted to go another few more days.
And where were you going to end?
Well, we didn't finish Madison because of the rain, so we really wanted to go up Madison and then go down and hang out at Dolly Cop for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. But that didn't happen.
It's good your dad came to the rescue.
Yeah, it was great. McDonald's never tasted so good.
Did you get any judgment from him when he came and got you?
Oh, no, not at all.
This is good.
Yeah, Dad was good.
What a good dad.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Awesome. So you definitely have had some major hiking experience. Any winter sports? Do you like skiing?
I do. But stepping back for the hiking part?
Yeah.
When I worked at State Street and got laid off in 2009, I we started visiting my dad more up in Lincoln. He was a lonely widow. And one of my best friends, Phil McAfee, was hiking. He said, well, we should do some hikes. So got whatever gear I needed and started hiking. And I never considered myself a peak bagger.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, I had to start bagging these peaks. So we got to the 48,000 list, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that gave me great comfort after being laid off. I had a good package, so I didn't have to work for a while. And Dee Dee wouldn't let me work for at least a year. Said, you just need to get back in shape and get your health back.
Nice.
Because I was a desk jockey, so to speak, right?
Desk jockey.
And, hiking really just did it for me. It just made me feel so good. This is where I belong, up here.
Yeah.
The idea was, all right, how do we get up here now?
Yeah.
That was the tough part, because my job didn't exist up here as a fixed income trader.
Right.
So I just had to work on reinventing myself.
And creating the need, right?
Right.
I think the need was there, but just creating the awareness of the need.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I couldn't say it better.
That is so interesting. I think that actually has happened so much up here in the North Country, that the businesses that are here are created out of necessity. And it's not like they were already here and there were competitors. Like, everyone's kind of like paving the way up here, you know?
Right.
So it's a bunch of resilient, scrappy people that are like, okay, we're going to create something from nothing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And I made a connection at a golf course with the local estate attorney.
Yeah.
Who introduced me to the company I now work for. And because I know he was a board member of a local bank. And I asked, well, you need somebody with a great financial background? And he promptly said, nope, we have a company that does that. But I'll pass your card along. And I got a call about 6 months later. The president of the company said, oh, we got a great referral here from one of our board members, and we have a job opening. Do you have an interest in hearing about it? Like, sure, who's the board member? He said, Steve Samaha.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's a board member of your company as well as Woodsville? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I drove up 235 miles on I think it was a Good Friday. Did a quick introduction. We went to the east side and had some prime rib and a beer. I'm thinking, this is starting off good. And we talked for 2 hours. He got to know me a little bit. Then we went back to the office, and then I felt like I got waterboarded for the next 2 hours. I got really...
Wow.
It was a tough interview.
Okay.
But then we got done. I said, well, I have the job, don't I? He said, you sure do. I said, that's the easy part. Now we're going to convince Dee Dee to move, leave her job, leave her friends, move up to Derby, Vermont, 5 miles from the Canadian border. Wish me
it
luck.
was in Derby. It wasn't here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, we went to Vermont first because our company's based out of Newport.
Okay.
So I finally used all my selling techniques and convinced her to come up. And, that worked out well.
Where had you been living at the time?
We were in Medway, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah. Luckily, my aunt had a camp up in Derby on Lake Salem. And she said, why didn't you stay here, see if you like the job first before you make that big move? So that's a great idea. So did that. Said, yeah, this is going to work out. And the house across the street, which was on the lake, was for sale. So we ended up buying that.
Well, it was like it was meant for you.
I couldn't script it any better.
That's awesome. What a great story. So now let's talk about what was life like in Derby, Vermont. I honestly have never been there.
It's not for the weak.
No?
No, because we're considered outsiders.
Yeah.
And just think, coming up there, you have no friends. It was very tough on both of us. And Dee Dee, I think she joined maybe like a flower club or something like that, garden club.
Uh-huh.
But soon started making some friends. She got involved with the golf course up there. And next thing you know, she had a whole bunch of friends, introduced me to their husbands, and we still have great friends up there now. So they've really helped us survive.
Yeah.
Because one of the stories that you hear is there's always a rotation of doctors going through the hospitals up there. The wives can't stand it, and they give their husbands the ultimatum. I'm leaving, with or without you.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like as well. Of course, I'm there for 2 years, and this job opened up down here. They wanted me to manage. Like, I wish you told me that before. So I came down here. I lived in corporate apartments for, Monday through Thursday night, go back on the weekends, which is tough living out of a suitcase.
Tough. How far a drive is it to Derby from
It's
here?
about an hour, but it's not the best drive in the winter.
Okay.
If you know the road, you have to go over Sheffield. It's not good.
Okay.
And then I think a client had asked me if we had an interest in this house. And I said, absolutely. So we bought that, and we got the band back together again.
Here in New Hampshire?
Right, in Franconia.
Okay. So you moved directly from Derby to Franconia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We kept the house for a couple more years and realized, we don't need a lake house. It's too much work.
Yeah.
So we sold that after the pandemic.
Does your aunt still have the cabin?
No, she sold it about a month before I sold my house in 2020.
So you probably don't have any reason to go up there now, huh?
We do. We still have friends up there, and we like to visit.
Okay.
And we love the eastern townships in Canada.
You do?
Yeah, there's some great golf, great skiing, great food.
Nice.
And it's like being in another country.
Yeah. Tell me what it was like to integrate into Franconia without prior connections.
Oh, it was pretty seamless.
Was it?
Yeah.
What do you think made that more seamless than Derby?
We actually knew a lot of people down here because we belonged to the local profile club. So it was an easy transition.
Nice.
We actually wanted to stay in Franconia while I was going to perhaps stay at my aunt's house.
Yeah.
But a little something came in between called a moose accident.
Oh, let's talk about that. You briefly mentioned it before our time today. What year did that happen?
September 29th, 2011. You never forget your first moose.
The 29th, so we're about 2 weeks from that anniversary.
Yeah, September, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So what happened? Let's talk about it.
Oh, sure. So we're in the middle of trying to sell our house in Massachusetts. And I didn't get out of work until about 6. So I have to make this long drive, and it was raining. So I have a little bit of a rush. And I come speeding through Franconia. I know better, right? Because it's Moose Alley.
The Notch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's right across, actually from the profile course on hole number 1. The only guardrail is right where that bridge is with Warren 41 goes underneath it, I believe. So at the last moment I see the moose on the right-hand side, I'll just speed around it. Well, then...
So you sped up?
I sped up, thought I could get by him.
Okay.
Yeah. In hindsight, should have slowed down. Break for a moose, right? Whoops. So the moose starts jogging across the road like, well, I think if he keeps going, we'll be fine. But it stopped.
Yeah.
And I did not stop. Because, I can't go left.
You had committed.
Yeah, I was committed.
Yeah.
They if I go left, I'm going to roll the car in the median. If I go right, I'm going to roll over. So I just braced myself. I put my hands up, and at the last moment, I just turned my wheel a bit. So if the animal got hit, it would splay across the windshield, and hopefully that would work. It actually did work, because it came to the windshield, and the windshield held, and then it flew over.
Wow.
So that
what kind of car were you driving?
It was a BMW sedan.
Okay.
Which has probably saved my life, because it has a reinforced cage like a Volvo.
Okay.
Which I didn't know, because Franconia Rescue said, dude, you shouldn't be here right now. Like, yeah, but I am.
Wow.
He says, it's your car you're driving. Like, good to know.
So the windshield never broke?
Well, it broke in about 1 million pieces. But he never came through the windshield.
Oh, he never came through it.
Yep.
What do you remember after you hit him?
I couldn't find the hazard lights. It's right there in a big triangle. I was like in shock. I just couldn't find it. I'm in a high-speed lane. I'm spitting out glass.
Was the car stopped at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 6-speed manual, so I stopped.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like in a fog.
And you're in the lanes.
Yeah, I'm in a high-speed lane. I'm not hurt.
Okay.
And then this car comes up from Quebec, and these two French-speaking guys, which I couldn't understand a lick. Kind of understood that I hit something, and they guided me across the road. And they turned around and went and got some help. And they,
so you actually drove your car?
Yeah, over to the right-hand side. They guided me.
Wow.
Couldn't see anything, and I was walking around, and my feet hurt. I'm like, what's going on? So the glass in the windshield ended up in my boat shoes. I had no socks on. Isn't that weird?
So you cut your feet up?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But nothing else? You didn't hurt anything else?
Nothing. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. I feel like you're a walking miracle now.
That was a gift that day.
Yeah.
So, gave thanks to.
Yeah.
To a higher force. I drive slower now.
Did, obviously someone had to come pick you up, or did they take you to the hospital?
They asked me if I wanted to go. I said no. My dad, my savior, picked me up again.
That's awesome.
And I stayed overnight there. Went the next day. I rented a expedition. Wanted something bigger.
Yeah.
Until I got the car fixed. I had it towed down to Massachusetts and kind of fixed it.
That's a really big moment.
Yeah, it's something that stays with you quite a while. Because it could have been a lot worse.
Do you remember if you slept that night?
Well, yeah, because Dad was the bartender. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm just thinking I would have been so wired from that happening and feeling like I shouldn't be alive, but I am.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you, have any epiphanies after of, how you wanted to live differently since you had that in your face? I know it happens sometimes to people.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Just being more of a careful driver.
That's good. Have you seen any moose on the road since then?
I have.
Have you sped up or slowed down?
Slowed down.
Good.
Even though they're in a mire of muck, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't ever hit a moose, but I know actually someone local just totaled their car last month. He works at the co-op, and I don't know how he walked away unscathed, but he did.
Was that the accident in Twin Mountain?
Yes.
I saw the car.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And the moose on the side?
Yeah.
It was like, how the heck is this person alive?
I had no front end damage. It was all windshield. He took his legs out and that was it.
Yeah.
So I just had to I had a dent on the roof and actually on the driver's side door where a hoof hit.
Oh, man.
And the moose survived.
It did?
Kind of stumbled away.
Oh, I just kind of assumed it was gone.
It was kind of funny. I had moose hair embedded in the windshield. And there was a banana peel on the hood.
What?
Yeah, it was undigested banana peel. I guess they don't digest well, so it's just lying on the hood.
It was from the moose's stomach?
Yeah, he must have picked that up at the Bethlehem landfill or something. Not a good choice of food.
I didn't know moose ate banana peels.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow, thank you for sharing that story. I think that's really special.
And that's why we didn't live in Franconia, because Dee Dee said, if something happens to you, I'm stuck.
Stuck where?
By herself.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's why she decided to go up north.
Gotcha.
That's the long story short.
Wow. Well, so glad that you were able to walk away from that, and apparently the moose too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
It must have been a big moose if it wasn't killed.
Pretty good size.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, real cool.
We've talked about a lot of things, Randall. One thing that I definitely wanted to talk with you about kind of has to do with your degree in psychology.
Oh, just a minor. That doesn't count.
A minor. It doesn't count?
No.
No. Well, I think it tells something about you, the fact that that was a minor. I know that you are interested in people and connecting, and that's one of the first things that stuck out to me when you and I sat down, when you were interested in working together, is that you told me, I like to hear people's stories.
Right.
I like to get to know people.
Right. You have to make that connection. What do you have in common? So when I speak to clients, it's kind of need to open up, like, what are your goals? What are you thinking? Where do you want to be? What do we have in common that we can talk about? And how can I get you there?
Yeah.
And it's just a cool process.
It's a really important one, and I feel like it's even more important here in our region because we're so scarce in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're in this bubble where those personal relationships and those personal connections matter even more.
Absolutely. I really like to get to know my clients because, you're helping them with their financial journey.
Yeah.
And many times, I'm going to funerals, going to celebrations for anniversaries or things like that, and it's really nice. What I get out of this job mostly, going from a corporate life to a small business, is that I got humanized coming up here.
Yeah.
I actually left that cold trading atmosphere in the corporate world, and I'm up here, I'm dealing with, I call myself a transition manager, right? I'm helping people transition, through divorce, death, retirement, all three big, events in your life. And you learn to listen. And yeah, I've shed a tear or two because some stories are just, gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
And like, wow, I feel like I have emotions that I've never had before. And it's the satisfaction that I get of helping, folks like that. I know it may sound corny, but, that's how I roll.
I don't think that sounds corny at all.
Cool.
That's how I roll, too. I think that the human element matters in business, and I grew up being told the opposite, too. I've been in corporate environments.
Oh, so you know.
I do know, and it just feels so much better to be seen and heard as a person. And that, to me, shouldn't be separate from business. It's part of it.
Right.
Yeah. So you talked about the importance of empathy in business, and that's exactly what that is showing people that you're listening. You're actually like there for them.
Yeah, and it's a great relief because a lot of folks do not have, the financial wherewithal to, invest for themselves. It's not for the uninitiated by any means.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up and, chase the latest, greatest fad, and it blows up on you. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Oh, I got this question for you. I'm sure people maybe not like to admit this, but would you say that finance is connected to people's emotions?
Totally.
And how do you see that play out?
I have a lot of folks that, well, can we buy something more aggressive? Like, it doesn't match your risk tolerance. I don't think that's a good idea. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
First time this starts going down and you're losing money, you're going to freak out and want to sell it. And that may not be the best time. So that's why we do a lot of hold handing, like when we have really disruptive markets and the market's down 10, 15%. We tend to hold the course. Maybe you want to do the opposite and add to positions, right? Well, think about it. The stock market's on sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like TJ Maxx. Something's on sale, you're running for it. Stock market should be thought about the same way. But a lot of people don't. But I tend to have folks, invested towards their risk tolerance so we can just ride out the bumps. And if the stock market's come down quite a bit, well, certainly we can rebalance, bring you back up to the equity allocation percentages that we had talked about, and you will do very well.
Do you ever find out the underlying motivation for when people come to you and with a sense of urgency of like that they want to do something? Is there usually a common underlying feeling or triggering event?
Yeah, it's usually triggering events, exactly, well put. Like I said, retirement, death, divorce, those are the main ones.
Yeah.
Or somebody doesn't want to manage their own money anymore. They just want to go to a trusted source.
Yep.
And they come to, us because we work as fiduciaries, which is in your best interest. And that's very comforting for a lot of folks.
Yeah. Are there companies that don't act in that capacity?
Everybody says they do, but not everybody does. I mean, I won't go into details, but I think a lot of people do work as fiduciaries, but there are certain folks that I don't think they do. None that I can name right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I see certain sectors that put themselves out there advisors when they're really not. They don't have the licenses, if you will, and it seems like they're giving financial advice, whereas you just might be getting something different that you didn't bargain for.
Mm-hmm. One of the things, since we're on the topic of the corporate world, you had mentioned that 9/11 was really significant for you. I mean, it was significant to all of us, but, we're all at different points in our lives, and we remember that day differently. And you have a very unique perspective of that day that I'd love for you to share with our listeners.
Yeah, I think, a 9/11 for me, I equate that to like our parents or grandparents for, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, right? Lives in infamy.
Mm-hmm.
I was working that day, and we had this big screen. It must have been 10 by 15 feet in the trading floor. And you see this plane. It looked like a small plane that hit the first tower. Didn't think anything of it, right? Like, oh, hope nobody got hurt. And then, a few minutes later, I was talking to Peter Atali at Eurobrokers, who's my main contact. And I said, Pete, that doesn't look good. I think you got to get out of there. Like, yeah, we're trying to get Susan out. She's under a desk right now. She's kind of freaking out. Because she's going through this, like, and there was a bombing, and I think maybe it was 2000 or 1990 something in the basement. They tried to tip over one of the towers. That didn't happen, but she got really spooked about that. So they're trying to get her out. And he said, yeah, I probably should get going. And at that moment, the second plane hit the tower on the 84th floor, which is where the office was. And the phone went dead. And I just
While
realized,
you were on with him?
Yes. And that was a huge impact. So,
what did you think when in that moment?
Automatically, like, something's going on.
Yeah.
It's got to be a terrorist act.
Yeah.
And then things started coming over. But they just kept replaying that over and over and over. At the same time, they were evacuating all the personnel, except for our group. We ran with part of the treasury group, so we manned the bank's cash.
And you were in Boston, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So I had asked one of the division managers, maybe we should go to our disaster recovery site in Westboro. I said, no, that's fine. We'll be good here. But he left like everybody else. We had probably no more than 10 people in the whole bank, as we had to settle the Fed funds, which didn't leave a good taste in my mouth because I wanted to be home with my wife.
Yeah. Didn't
feel really comfortable being there. And I did go home for the next few days. Neither did some of my colleagues. We had to keep the wire open because we were a big custodian bank.
Okay.
We ended up with all the funds on the first night because nothing settled by the end of the day. The next day, all the cash left, and basically we got a call from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, you're in default. We're ready to go into receivership, so you better get your cash in line. No sympathy at all.
Wow.
So the next night, I was 11:45. It was almost 11:45 because that's when the wire was going to close. I needed to get just $50 million more. And there was one bank left, which was a bank in New York, who had failed the day before. And this division head, who I didn't know he was, basically said, yeah, I could buy from anybody but Bank in New York. And there was nobody else. So I bought it. And we're waiting for it. He started to light into me, I told you not to. Look, this is what I do. We have no other choice. I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it settled with like 30 seconds left. And he actually came over and apologized after that.
Wow.
And finally we got through the end of the week and things started to come together. But it was never the same after that. I think I lost about 22, colleagues in the business that I had known.
Yeah.
And I still think about them. I take every week off that SEP 11 is in.
Yep.
To reflect. I usually go to Cape Cod with Dee Dee, and we just, enjoy the ocean and relax.
Good.
And we reach out to colleagues that we're still in touch with from then, because a lot of people were hurt a lot more than I was that day.
Yeah.
They never found anybody from the Eurobrokers group, no DNA or anything, just incinerated. So it was a pretty tough time, and it's still is with a lot of us who lived through it.
Man.
Pretty sombering.
It is.
That's when I lost my taste for the corporate world. Realized how different it really is.
Yeah, you probably didn't feel like you were treated like a person.
Now, when everything's all said and done, somebody I never heard of took all the credit for getting the bank through this. Everybody in my group's looking at each other like, who is this guy?
So you didn't even get recognition for sticking it out?
Not that we wanted any.
Right. I'm sure you
didn't need any.
Yeah.
So we just did our job.
That's tough.
Yeah, we got over it.
I appreciate you sharing that story. I know everybody's probably thinking of what happened on that day for them, and just how, what connections and how we were all impacted. And sounds like, to be on the phone with somebody that was on that floor.
Yeah, I couldn't go to, I used to go to New York City often. I just couldn't go for years.
Yeah.
Then I finally had to go make peace and go see the memorial, and that was very healing.
Was that? Did you see the names?
I did.
Good.
I looked for them. When I was going to a conference in Sarasota, it's a nice airport, Sarasota, they had this flag on this wall, and it had all of the names of the folks that had perished, and again, I got to see those, so that's great that we can keep the memory alive.
Good. Yeah, it's super important.
It is.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's probably hard. Let's switch gears. We're coming to the end of our hour, and I've learned so much from you, Randall. I want to know one of your favorite memories of being here in the North Country. When you think about one of the best experiences that you would tell somebody that's never been here, what would that be?
Oh, the best experiences. Boy, I think just getting involved with, your towns, your communities, and just see all the eclectic folks that are there, because this is a melting pot of so many people. We've have really come to know a lot of folks that have moved up here, different backgrounds, but we all have something in common, is that we want to be in a different place, and this is this place here.
Yeah, we're all choosing to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, a lot of these folks, they're getting involved with the communities. They're going on boards like, Copper Canyon, for example, and other nonprofits, which I hope to do someday when I have time when I retire.
Yeah.
To give back more to the communities.
Is there a certain event that you've been to that really makes you feel like it represents the North Country well?
Franconia has this old home day, right?
Okay.
And they have parade. You don't see parades anymore. It's great. They have fireworks. And they have the Wicked Smart Hort Band. And, the whole community is there. And it's just great. Have you gone to that before?
I haven't, but didn't it just happen in August?
It's after 4th of July, so it's either, later in July or early August, I believe. But it's such a great time, and everybody just comes together. There's food trucks there. Fireworks are awesome.
The parade, are they throwing candy?
I think some places are. Oh, some people are, yeah.
Yeah. I always liked that about parades. So as a kid, that's all I cared about. I'm going to get my candy.
Did you have a special candy that you liked? Because me, it was Smarties.
Oh, I think I was a poor kid, and we didn't have candy in the house, so it was everything.
Anything and everything,
Anything
right?
and everything.
Yeah, sure, I'll have a Fireball. Hate it, but, I'll take
yeah,
it.
exactly. Or, yeah, Fireballs. There's definitely some old school candies that, I wouldn't want them today, but
right.
They were just so special then because I couldn't, they weren't common. I didn't have access to them.
Right.
That's cool.
That what you don't have, you appreciate more once you have it.
That's right. Anything else that you feel compelled to share with our listeners today, Randall?
I don't know. I'd do a Q&A if I could.
And let me try your last name again. Is it Saulnier?
Yes.
Yes. I got it. Took me an hour to just settle with that.
I see you've been playing that name in your mind.
I haven't really been listening. I've just been practicing in my head.
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah.
I don't have anything else to add.
You don't?
You just, keep me away from work, which is great. This is my break.
Yeah, and you work upstairs. You're like level 1, right? You're at the first floor?
First floor, yeah. Come in the north entrance. Can't miss us.
Yeah. Well, Randall, thank you so much for being here. And you've shared some of those stories were probably hard to share, but I really appreciate you sharing a little bit of everything today.
Well, thanks for a lot you do for the community. Your stories in the Littleton Courier are just great. I look forward to reading more of them.
Yeah,
I look
you're
forward
welcome.
to working with you more as we, develop and get our name out there even more.
Yes, it's going to be good. Randall, I was hoping that you would join me in the next 10 minutes to give a special tribute. And it's for my grandmother. Would that be okay?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So, some people that follow me on social probably know that my grandmother passed this past Saturday. And her name was Jean McKeen. And she lived in Albion, Maine. And the McKeens are a well-known clan in Albion. We're a bunch of farmers with a very rich history. And this past week, I spent 6 days with her and with my extended family and my immediate family in the hospital every day. She lingered with us for 6 days, and we honored her, and we spent that time being together. We spent that time sharing stories. We spent it singing, playing music for her, laughing together, crying together. It was just a very special time. And though losing her is incredibly heartbreaking, the connection that I gained and the legacy of love that I witnessed last week with my family was close to miraculous. I have never experienced anything like that in my life. And it was so special to me. And one of the days that we were together, for some reason, somebody thought to play a song. And it's by someone named Stuart Hamblin. And I had never heard of this guy before. But as soon as it started playing, my aunts and uncles and my dad all started singing along and laughing because they grew up with this song. Their dad loved it, and I think it's an appropriate song for paying tribute to my grandmother and to the McKeens. So I'm going to play Stuart Hamblin's This Old House. And the introduction to this song is actually Stuart talking about why he wrote this song. He actually had this experience with his fellow hunter. It was actually actor John Wayne. And they discovered this hut in the mountains. So you're going to hear Stuart talk about what happened and why he wrote this song. And then you're going to hear him sing the song. So this song is dedicated to my grandmother, Jean McKeen. I appreciate you guys listening. If you want to stick around after that, we're just going to be playing some more music until noontime. So thank you guys so much for listening, and here's Stuart Hamblin with This Old House.